Mountains to all the Mesilla Valley, reaching all of New Mexico. Broadcasting live from the Las Cruces studios, bringing you the issues that matter and the topics that count. Telling it like it is. It's the Mike Tellez Show. And now here's your host, Mike Tellez.
Thank you for joining us today with the Mike Tellez Show. My name is Mike Tellez. We are coming to you from the fabulous Las Cruces studios on the Las Cruces Channel Network. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've been talking in the past weeks about the crime, the homeless, and the drug use. And while it may seem redundant, I cannot express the importance of us getting involved and with what's going on in our city right now. There's certain areas right now that are worse than others. Of course, the new Las Cruces is doing pretty good. Last time I checked, their crime is really low, but we're talking basically about the old Las Cruces, right down here where very little gets done, and we see very little improvements in the neighborhoods around here. Still got the same old bad roads, but that's where we live and that's where we love, because that's Las Cruces. Now, we're going to talk today. I've got a map right here, and it's the council district map here. And I'm going to show you some of the areas, districts 3 and 4. Those are the areas, the part of town that is hardest hit with the homeless people and the drug problems. You know, I've spent quite a bit of time there in this last week just to kind of get a good feel for it, and you know what? It's scary. You know, when you pull up into a grocery store, you pull into one of the many dollar stores, or station, or gas station to put gas in, convenience store. You don't know if someone's going to come up to your window. You don't know if they're going to approach you walking in. But chances are real good that you're going to run into somebody who's asking for change, help. They need money. They need something. But, you know, it's fearful. And, it's fearful if you send, let's say, your wife, your daughter, your kids, even yourself. Even I am fearful at times when people walk up to the window. Even though I'm used to it, even though I've been out there enough to get to know that those people are going to do it, I still have those jitters inside, and I'm still frightened. You drive down the street, and you know what? You have got to pay special attention while you're driving down El Paseo, while you're driving down Amador, while you're driving down Valley, Avenida Mesilla, Main Street. You've got to be very, very careful, because you don't know at what moment somebody's just going to randomly start crossing that street. You know, no crosswalk, no nothing. They just start crossing it. And I'll tell you, you just don't know when that's going to happen. Bicycles, you know what? I see the bicycles. Sometimes they ride right in the center of the street. They're weaving back and forth, and I'm not saying they're high or drunk. I'm just saying that they're playing around on the roads. You know, it seems like such a trivial issue to be talking about the people who are crossing the streets, riding their bikes right across in front of you. But you know what? I can't tell you how many times I've driven up and seen someone laying in the street that got run over. It traumatizes the person who gets run over, of course. But you know what? That trauma affects the driver of the car. The driver of the car's messed up. You know, can you imagine the driver hitting someone, what they go through knowing that they ran someone over? I saw one on Picacho. Someone just crossed right into the street. I don't know what it's going to take, or whether it's going to take the city putting crosswalks, putting signage up saying cross on the crosswalks only, put a flashing light in front of everyone. Somehow, some way, we have got to get a little bit more order on these people just crossing. The other day I saw somebody, I'm telling you, right in the middle divider of the street, and I'm going to say on the corner of Main Street and El Paseo, right there in that median. with a sign. But we all know that. We've seen that. Well, this guy wasn't just holding a sign. He was laying down right on that median with a sign right next to him, right in the median. You know, how scary is it to pull into that median? Then you've got the guys on the sides, on both sides of the road. You know, Tucson was able to get the people, the panhandlers, off of their streets. You know, we used to have an ordinance that said we couldn't have panhandlers on the street. Of course, the ACLU filed a complaint. Well, we immediately backed down. Well, I'm going to tell you something. We need our council people to get tough. Let's take on these people and let's say, you know what? We're not only protecting the citizens, we are protecting the people themselves who are in the middle of the street, who are on the sides of the street. You see them sleeping all around that area, in the medians, on the side, right there on the bench where you catch a bus. You know what? I feel bad for them. But you know who I feel bad for? The people who want to catch a bus and go sit on that bench. I feel bad for the people who have businesses in that area. Who wants to go to a business where you're in fear of somebody coming up to your window? I was at Albertsons, and I'm going to tell you, it's on El Paseo. You know what? There was someone walking right in the middle, looking in them cars, just glancing in them. It was looking like if they were trying to find their car or something, but you know what? They weren't. Because I saw where they ended up, right in the overhang between those stores in there. You know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for those business owners right there. Who wants to go into a business that has people that are intimidating looking standing there with baskets, with sleeping bags, with bikes, all around there? It's like a little community in their parking lots. Enough. Get the people out. Where do we send them? Mike, what? Throw them out of the parking lots? Throw them out from the dumpster area at Bradley's? Get them out of the Walgreens parking lots? The Albertsons parking lots? The Dollar General's parking lots? You want us to clear all them parking lots? Well, where do they go? Well, we just purchased a property on Amador where a couple businesses sold out because who could survive in that area? Why don't you get an area right there and restrict these people who are homeless? This is an area designated for you to sleep in. Put a canopy up if you need to, whatever. But let's restrict them to one specific area. Get them off them streets from sleeping behind the buildings. You know, the Salvation Army on Idaho Street. Boy, do I feel for them. They've got their window knocked out so many times. They've put chain link fences up. They've cut through them. Now they got a brick wall in the back. Well, they got a grassed area they call the park. I said, there's a park behind the Salvation Army? They said, well, they call it the park. It's actually the grass in front of the bank. They call that the park. Well, this incident actually happened. The other night, and I'm going to leave out any names, any dates, any of that. The other night, a person went outside at 3 in the morning. The dog started making noise, and they said, well, they went outside the back to see what was going on. There was a young lady crying out there who had just been sexually assaulted, been raped, laying out there. Well, where was she at? She said it happened at the park. I said, the park behind the Salvation Army. I talked to the person that rendered aid and called 911 and got an ambulance out there. It happened at the park. And I said, would you show me the park? It's the bank, the grass in the front. And that's where she got raped. I said, so this young lady, what was she doing over there at 2 or 3 in the morning? They said, well, that's where they all camp out. I said, and all of them just camp out there? Yeah. I could not believe it. And this young lady got assaulted, and you know what? They knew who did it, so hopefully the police take care of that. But the point is, these young ladies, they're scared to death to call the police. They're scared to death to testify against someone, because I'm going to tell you, like it happens so many times, they'll get arrested and they'll be immediately bonded out. And I'm going to tell you something. You got to deal with that person. And if you live on the streets, God help you if you turn on somebody who lives in the streets also. We talked to that homeless guy that was here. He told us they'll put a green light on you. They'll give the green light if you report them. My goodness, this person reported someone. Does that mean they get the green light put on them? What happens when this guy gets out of jail without bail on his OAR? What happens? What happens to this young lady who's been assaulted and has to worry about this guy getting out of jail and going and getting even? Said, you better not testify against me. What happens? My goodness, where is our law gone? Well, for one, we're a whole lot of police officers short. I'm hearing a number 50, then I heard 70 from someone else. And you know what? They are doing whatever they can to hire police officers. They're addressing the issue. Of course, you know, as a businessman, I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't have a business myself. When I owned a business, when we started getting short-handed, one or two, we started immediately trying to replace one or two. My question is, why did they let us go 50 to 70 officers short before they start getting aggressive and trying to take care of that problem? Who does that? Who waits till almost your entire staff's gone before you replace it? We need to get those policemen replaced. I don't know how we're going to do it. How can you do it when we have a need on one side and an attitude on another side saying those guys are bad? We don't back our police officers. We need to defund our police. We need to start getting rid of them. We need to make them responsible for whatever they do. We have that attitude on one side about the police. On the other side, we're trying to hire police. The very people we're condemning, we're trying to hire. Who wants a job like that? Who wants a job like that? Would you go to work for a place that before you even got the job, they said, hey, we don't like you. We're going to hire you and give you a job. Yeah, we'll pay you pretty good too, but I'm going to tell you up front, we don't like you. And I'm going to tell you another thing, you get out of line, we're going to go after you. I'm going to tell you another thing, if someone gets killed or gets hurt, God forbid, you're going to be responsible, and we're going to try you for murder. We're going to send you to prison. We're going to assume you're guilty before you're proven guilty. Would you go to work there? Would you go to work at that place? I said, you know, before we can fix the problem, we got to change the attitude. We need to change the attitude we have towards it. We are condemning and going after the police. Well, why do we have all this lawlessness going on in districts 3 and 4? When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because I'm not getting off this till we hear some results and hear someone with an answer. And I'm reaching out to the police station, city council members. Come on and tell me why we see what we see. We'll see when we return with the Mike Tellez Show. My name is Mike Tellez.
Hi folks, I'm Dave Gallus. This is your 3A Research Minute. We're here with CEO Michael Raucci of 3A Research here in Las Cruces. Michael, could you tell me the procedure of a trial?
Sure, Dave. A participant will come to our office to see if they qualify for a study. Once they qualify for a study, they will be asked to do evaluations throughout the course of a 3-month period or longer, and they'll come in periodically to see their progress and make sure they're safe and they're okay.
Michael, could you tell us the location here in Las Cruces? Where's that?
We are located in the heart of Las Cruces, 530 North Telshore Boulevard, Suite B. We have 2 locations in El Paso, and we've done so well, we had to extend ourselves here to this great community. So far, Las Cruces has been very responsive, and we love Las Cruces, so we're excited to be here.
Thanks, Michael. I hope the folks take advantage of this opportunity. That's been your 3A Research Minute here in Las Cruces. See you next time.
If your loved one has passed away due to COVID-19, pay close attention to this message. You could be entitled to a death benefit of over $300,000. The U.S. government has set up a fund to pay families relief if they've lost a loved one due to COVID-19. The compensation includes a death benefit and lost wages benefit. Time is limited, so we urge you to make a free phone call right now. There's no cost to you for this claim. That's 866-372-3669.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
Do you suffer from rashes, dryness, flakiness, and thickness to the skin? 3A Research is conducting a trial of an investigational drug on plaque psoriasis. Subjects must be 18 years of age or older. This is an 8-week study. We will compensate you for your time and travel up to $225.
Enrolling participants now in Las Cruces. Contact our office at 575-288-1646 or visit our Facebook page at 3A Research or our website 3asites.com.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Welcome back to the Mike Tellez Show. My name is Mike Tellez. We're talking about crime in Las Cruces. We're talking about neighborhoods that have the higher amount of crime than others. We're talking about the old Las Cruces. We went to the map, and we're talking about the old Las Cruces, not the new Las Cruces that's real nice and pretty and nice sidewalks, beautiful roads, and walking paths, a lot of grass, beautiful place. You know, sometime you need to go to the new Las Cruces and take a look and see how Las Cruces looks on that side of the freeway. And you know what? Maybe we need to start thinking about what we need to do to get the old Las Cruces to look like the new Las Cruces. Hey, I bet crime, I don't see very much crime in that part of the new Las Cruces. It's pretty good. You know, it's a good place to live out here. We're talking about what's going on in our neighborhood. El Paseo area, Solano area, that whole area there. What's going on the Valley and Picacho area? You know, there's a couple of districts here that are terrible. This is what I challenge. I want somebody, the counselor in this district, I'm not going to mention counselors' names right now because I'm going to reach out to them and give them a chance to respond. But whichever counselor is on Idaho and Espina area, about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, I'd like for you to walk down that street. Now, I'm not saying with an entourage or police. I'm saying alone. If you can walk down that street alone, 11 at night, let's say Thursday night, you walk down that. If you feel safe, then you know what? You're doing your job. But if you feel terrified, you can imagine that's how the people who vote feel. If you feel terrified getting out of your car at Albertsons, Bradley's, Walgreens, any of the many businesses in that area, if you feel terrified getting out of there, that's how your voters feel. And I'm going to tell you something, you better get out and take a look at what we feel. Because we're the voters. We're the ones who put you in office. We did not put you in office for us to continue to see a decline in our neighborhoods. Picacho and Valley area. Go around that area. Go to around the businesses in that area and watch how intimidating that area. Go to Circle K. right by the tennis courts. Go over there, walk around that area there. See how you feel. If you feel safe, you don't have nothing to worry about. But I'm going to tell you what, if you feel like we believe you're going to feel, you have a problem on your hands and you need to get focusing on it. Now, how do you focus on the problem? Well, number one, the people that kind of keep an eye and enforce the law in that area, my goodness, we better start treating them better. We better start treating our law enforcement officers better. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm not saying that there's no bad apples, because there absolutely is. In every organization that exists, as long as man's in it, there's going to be a bad apple in there, somewhere in there. We're not asking for that. No one's perfect. We're just saying we need to treat our officers right. And you know what? Go with the ride along with them. You know, as a business person, I could not imagine being so short-handed. And of course, with all the free handouts, with all this money that was given to people to not to work, and I'm reading where some council members want to continue giving out money to people not to work because they believe, hey, money will help fix the crime problem because poverty is driving crime. No, poverty is not driving crime. Drugs are driving crime. Blues are driving crime. Meth is driving crime. Heroin is driving crime. And guess what? We've legalized weed. Well, you know what? The Roman Empire, Why Rome Fell by Will Durant. When you can't control it, you legalize it. I'm going to tell you something. That is what's dictating and controlling crime. We heard from that gentleman, the homeless guy. He said, you know what? We steal wherever we can steal. We'll steal from Walmart. We'll steal from we'll steal anywhere to get blues. Blues are driving crime. Those blues are laced with fentanyl. We've already talked about the 100 times more powerful than heroin. We already showed examples of how powerful these blues were. We already know they're $10 a tablet. I talked to that guy. He told me he knew someone who had 300 of them. He told me he has seen professors from the university going and buying them. He's seen business people. Said everybody goes and buys the blues. And he told me as long as people are hooked on those, they have no desire to get a job. They have no desire to be helped out of their situation. No desire. Well, where do they hang out? They hang out in the areas that it's easiest to get either the money or the product. That's where they're going to be. You know, in business, it's called location, location, location. Well, I'm going to tell you something. In the homeless community, it's location, location, location. What better place to hang out? You hang out wherever a larger amount of people going that you could possibly get money from, or you have a larger amount of people that you can steal from in that area. Places that are easier to steal from. And I'm going to tell you something. There's not very many clerks that are going to take the chance and chase someone out that door who steals something. Blatantly just steals. I've been in that store. I've seen them walk right in, walk around, take what they need, and slip right out that door and leave. And I don't blame them. If I were an employee in those stores, I wouldn't chase them either. I mean, my goodness, what are you going to do? Lose your life over something they're stealing? Nope. And people aren't willing to put their life on the line for where they're working. No. I'm going to tell you what we need to do. We need to start focusing on this problem of blues. As long as we're shorthanded at the police station, we're losing. The last police chief told me, man, if we could just get 20 more police cars to where we'd have enough police cars, that would be nice. My goodness. Let's get some more police cars. We don't need that dog park at Burn Lake yet. There's 3 million. We don't need that park right now. Hey, let's make Las Cruces safe before we keep on building things we really don't need that bad. You know, it's nice to have a dog park, but that's a luxury. Let's take care of crime on the streets. Let's get these policemen some cars. Let's continue to recruit police officers, but we better change our attitude. Because like I said before, who wants to work for a company that right up front They do not like you. Right up front, you mess up, we're going after you. Something happens, God forbid, that you have to defend yourself and you kill someone, you're going to prison for murder. But we want you to be a policeman. Please, be a policeman. Here's a gun. Don't use it, though, but here's a gun. You know what? Until we change the attitude we have towards our police officers, and I said there's bad apples everywhere. You know what? There's no one going to want to work here. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to work at a place that doesn't like me right off. Doesn't matter what they pay. And you know what? Sometimes we got to understand, pay is very important. But how you're treated is trumps anything else. People won't work right now. It's not all about the money anymore. It's about a quality of life. Do you want to go to work at a place where when you leave, you hate your job, you're miserable, you're stressed out, you can't even hardly communicate with anyone once you leave because you're so stressed? Then to top it off, the bosses you work for can't stand you, don't like you, and want to defund you and send a social worker in your place. Good luck. In the neighborhood where I'm at, good luck sending a social worker in to call there. Because if they don't lose their life, they'll probably get their car broken into. We need to wake up, Las Cruces. How do we do it? I'll tell you one way. Register to vote and vote. Old Las Cruces, register. Get out and register to vote. 20 to 30% of our community votes. Get out there and register. It doesn't matter where you're at, register. If you need someone to go give you a ride to register, go to my site, contact me at the Mike Tellez Show at gmail.com, and we'll get you a ride to go register. But you've got to register to vote, and you've got to vote, and you know what? You've got to know who the candidates are. Understand who's running. What do they stand for? Are they selling you a bill of goods? And you know, we all know what it sounds like when they're selling us a bill of goods. You know what? Our school board, understand something about school, it's insignificant. You know how I know we think it's insignificant? When somebody gets into office with 200 votes, we don't think that's an important office. We think that office don't matter. Well, guess what? That office is the one teaching our kids. Those are the ones growing up to do whatever is next. Get involved, Las Cruces. Register to vote. Start understanding when the election is. And you know what? Let's start demanding that whoever the counselors are in our districts, 3, 4, 2, we need to understand, this is old Las Cruces, we need to understand who's running. And you know what? Let's start talking to the candidates. Let's have forms. Let's say, you know what? What do you stand for? You stand for our Las Cruces? Well, you better do something about it because we're going to vote you out. I'm going to tell you something. Your districts, you're in jeopardy right now. Until we see some change, good luck on Election Day because we are going to change Las Cruces. My name is Mike Tellez. I thank you for joining us with the Mike Tellez Show.